Hi, this is Adam Sweet. Today I want to talk about practicing scales. When you practice your scales, I recommend that you pick a different scale in around the circle of fifths each week. So if you're going to start with C major at the top with no sharps or flats, then you're going to practice the next week. You're going to practice a fifth higher, which is G, then a fifth higher, which is D, then A, then E, then B, then F sharp, and then C sharp. Then you go back to C and go the other way, F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, and C flat. So when you practice a scale, what I recommend that you do is that you add 3, possibly 4 right hand picking patterns in addition to playing the scale, practicing the scale. So take C, for example. I recommend 4 picking patterns. The first is quarter notes. So you would do 4 quarter notes per note, starting with C. And so on. The next set of the next set of picking patterns is eighth notes, and we're going to do 2 sets of 4 eighth notes per note. And you apply a little pulse at the beginning of each set of 4. So back to C again. So it sounds like this. All right. The next pattern are 2 sets of triplets with a pulse on the first of each set of 3. Okay. And the last pattern is 3 sets of quarter notes with an emphasis on the 1. So okay, the reason why I picked these 4 patterns is they are the most common patterns that you will be playing in just about every style of music that I'm going to teach you. So if you're going to be playing classical, you're going to use all of them. If you're going to be playing traditional Americana or bluegrass, you're going to use the quarter notes and the eighth notes. If you're going to be playing traditional dance music like Celtic music or Irish music, you're going to use all of the different forms. If you're going to be playing Balkan music or klezmer, you're going to be using the 3/4 pattern, the last pattern, as well as the other patterns. So these are highly recommended. And once again, when you do your scales, always pick a pattern that you're going to practice. And that's why I recommend the circle of fifths, because it's the easiest to remember. If you like, you can take your calendar app and you can plug in all of the scale sets that you're going to practice each day so that it automatically comes up on your smartphone or your computer at home, and you don't need to try to rack your brains and remember what scale you're working on for that week. In addition to practicing the scale, I think that you should also practice the relative minor. Same deal, 2 octaves relative minor. Now, what is the relative minor? The relative minor is the minor scale that's related to the major, meaning it has the same key signature as the major. So in the case of C, the relative minor is A. That's because the sixth position of the C major scale is A. And because it's relative to C, it has no sharps or flats. So for the relative minor, we're going to start with the lowest A, which in this case is first finger on the second fret G string. But we're not going to play any sharps or flats. And I'll just pick one of the patterns. I'll do 4 quarter notes per note. C natural. F natural. Okay, so that's the relative minor of C major is A minor. It's also referred to as C Aeolian because Aeolian is one of the 7 modes. It's also minor. In addition to practicing your major scale and your relative minor, I recommend that you also practice the arpeggio for each. So the arpeggio consists of the first, the third, the fifth, and the octave of the scale. So in the case of C, the first is C, the third is E, the fifth is G, and the octave again is C. So it goes like this. We'll do quarter notes again. C, E, G, and C. And then back. So, and if you're going to do 2 octaves, which I recommend, stretch for the high C. Pop-ups, I hate pop-ups. And the arpeggio for the relative minor, starting on A, is going to be A, C, E, and the octave, A. Okay, so to recap, you're going to do the major scale, 2 octaves, with the 4 picking patterns, which are quarter notes, 2 sets of 4/8 notes, 2 sets of triplets, and 1 and 3 quarter notes each week. So starting with C, no sharps or flats, and then going up by fifths each week, and then down by fifths each week after you've completed the clockwise pattern. Then you're going to do the relative minor, and the way you figure that out is you count up to the 6th step, starting with the first step, and then you're going to do the 2 arpeggios, and this whole practice should take you about 12 minutes. So you can get into the habit of doing it every day, and it's just going to eventually soak into your brain, and then you won't be able to get rid of it. And you'll learn how you can apply these patterns and these notes to all kinds of music. All right, so I hope this was helpful. If you need to contact me, you can go do that through my website. All the links are below, and I hope you have a great day.